Welcome to the Kiwi Advisor Network podcast. I'm the host, Warwick Slow, and today we're joined by Sam Kodi. Sam runs the business Smart Advisor. They cover all different types of advice, and they really set their clients up for financial success. We touched on some really good points. I think Sam, he admits that he knows his strong points. He knows that he's a great advisor, but some of the other things like marketing or compliance, he's made the decision to outsource it. Hearing about his journey to New Zealand and moving from private lending, helping clients with investments into running his own business, it's a great journey, a great story. I think you'll really enjoy it. So sit back and relax, or if you're out there running, keep jogging and don't relax, keep pushing. Enjoy. Sam Kodi, so good of you to join us today.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Yeah, well, we've had a lot of contact over the years now, and I feel like it was the right time to bring you in because you've built up a great brand and business, and you've just made a bit of a transition from having your business set as Sam Kodi, which is your name, and you've moved to Smart Advisor. Maybe if we go back even further before you got to that point, how did you even, you migrated to New Zealand. What was your journey coming into the country, and how did you find those early days setting up your business and getting started?
It's a long story. I come from Sri Lanka, come from a very normal family. I worked hard to where I might be, and worked for private banking in Sri Lanka, part of Deutsche Private Banking. So coming from private banking background to New Zealand and working in New Zealand banks and financial institutions, I felt a little bit of a product sale scenario which is going in the country. So I thought it was always behind my mind that there should be some holistic approach need to be taken here. So that is the only reason which I started my business.
Oh, great. So you're with Deutsche Bank in Sri Lanka. You made the move. And did you join a bank in New Zealand, or did you just jump straight into having your advice business?
I worked for two banks in New Zealand, two big names, Westpac and ASB.
Great.
And I left ASB in 2011 at the highest place an advisor can be, and set up on my own because I just wanted to make sure that I deliver that holistic approach to my clients. And then, as usual, you start a business, you start from scratch. I developed my 6 elements of planning model, which I practice every day over my kitchen bench. So it was hard yards to start that. And also, when the model started, I also employed a customer-centric strategist. So everything we do from day one to now is centered around clients. So the approach is clients, the way we work with clients, because we want long-term clients with us. So that's how it started.
You don't want it transactional, right? You want to build these relationships.
Yes, we want long-term propositions. We want clients to give us referrals. We are not cold calling people at all. So it's about client looking at the journey A to Z of client's life, and we look after most of the things inside our business.
And that customer service approach is so crucial. So many people, it can get so busy that a lot of the time the end clients aren't getting a good outcome, getting a good result. How do you keep those customer service levels up?
That's probably the very reason we decided to rebrand as well, because at the moment we offer more than Sam Kodi. Because starting as a Sam Kodi is establishing yourself into the industry, learning about the industry, regulations and everything. I have grown up to be more than Sam Kodi. So we have a team of people. The way we look after is that under my strategy, there are some specialists who look after mortgages, who look after insurances, and kind of product specialists. And then we have a team of customer relationship officers with some extended hours and going through the weekend as well. So what we do is that there are actually 9 people in the company now. So that itself says that we do more than Sam Kodi. So that is the very reason Smart Advisor came into the market, and we look after clients so much, and we have a lot of touch points for a client. I mean, probably a year we have about 30 to 40 touch points for a single client.
Wow. Yep. And you say that your team are working on the weekends as well?
Yeah, we have 2 shifts of customer relationship officers working. One work from 8:30 to 5, and the other starts 4:30 to 8:30 in the night, and on Saturday as well. because most of my clients wants flexibility,
Yeah,
and we
right.
are geared for that.
That's yeah, I'd say a lot of advisors, they're still doing that weekend work, and maybe if they're stuck by themselves, they have to draw the line because you need some time off.
Absolutely. I mean, most of the weekends, I take few meetings during the weekend, but most of the stuff is done by the relationship officers, so it will be ready for me for the week.
Great. And how did you get the team in? I know that a lot of advisors, they struggle to hire good staff who would be as committed to work on the weekends. Like, how do you get them behind you?
Tell me, I struggle still. I mean, as many know, it's like building a business is building a team, right? It's probably the hardest thing which I have ever faced, because you need to get people falling into your own culture, your own pace, and also people who have that long term vision and plan which resonates with you. It's very hard to find them, and the realization which I have made is that it's very hard to find. When you find them, you need to retain. But if you find people who are not into that level, you need to let them go and also have that people working for you to understand who you are. So I mean, there have been ups and downs in my business as well. People come, people leave, but yeah, we are fortunate that we have a good team of people now.
Yeah, any interaction I've had with them has always been pretty positive. And, how do you instill any training when it comes to that customer service level? Because it doesn't come naturally to everyone. Do you do a training or onboarding to get them up to standard?
I'm lucky because 6 years ago, when I started the business, I employed this customer strategist to the business, employed in as contractor. So this person developed my 5 year plan, which I followed strictly. How do we deal with clients? What touch points we make and stuff like that. And last December, I made the choice of inviting that person to be part of the team. So she is part of the group strategy now. So she's employed, so she looks after everything. So it works on a simultaneous way, and also she looks after all the staff now, and she works with the staff to generate the process, the touch points, how to deal with clients. Everything is looked after, so that I don't need to get involved. And part of building a team is also, I mean, that is also part of the rebranding and everything. When you outgrow it, there's a limited knowledge which you have. There should be specialists who are doing various kind of things for you. So that is what I'm practicing. I have specialists in the business who does various things, and I trust them and I let them do their job.
Great. And you got a 5-year plan. I know, say for instance, COVID comes into the mix. How do you reevaluate that 5-year plan when you have, macro issues like COVID maybe affecting your business?
So we were within that 5 year plan when COVID happened. Nothing impacted us. The staff was, I mean, we had the contingency plan to put staff at home. They worked well, and business was as usual. And there was zero impact in my business and zero turnover from clients as well. So which is pretty good. So that shows us the process of advising clients, which we adopt with the model which we work with client, is building resilience. It's not about transactions. It's not about doing a deal. It's about building the client resilience for the finance. So that is part of what we practice, and that was the main reason that we didn't have any impact in the business. I mean, we are lucky.
And let's say a client comes to you and you can tell that they're looking for more of that transactional relationship. How do you educate them or bring them on side so that it becomes more of a two-way relationship rather than, customer provider or service provider?
I think we emphasize quite a lot on the first meeting, what we do. And there were certain instances where clients comes to us for rates or a better deal. And pretty much I tell them we are not that people. We are not into deals. We are not into a special rate or whatever. Because what happens is that with my experience over the years, what I realize is if you even do a transaction like that, they are not sticky clients. The model which we have is not that. The model which we have is sticky clients going through a journey with us through their financial life. So when people come like that, we educate them upfront. This is who we are. We are not traditional people who do this transaction or filling forms. My first meeting runs about an hour without even a paper. So what does that mean is that client will really understand whether that person suits me. And my way of doing things, and also the way I advise my juniors advisors as well, as long as client need to select you as the advisor, you need to select your client as well. It is about having that first meeting to make sure that you are in the same page and you can work as a team. I always tell my clients, we are working as a team.
So true.
So if that when that happens, those transaction-oriented clients will fade away. Probably that's not what we are focused on.
Yeah. And I mean, such a good point. You know, when people come in, it's a lot of the time they treat you as just, hey, what are you going to do for me? When really it should be like a two-way relationship.
Absolutely. And but most of my clients after first meeting keeps telling me that we didn't discuss any financials, Sam. We just discuss life. That's all we do. So it's about when you buy a house, when you do insurance or whatever the product which you work with, or a holistic approach. It's about life. It's about making sure that you have this next step covered. So that's what we do.
You're showing them the bigger picture because they're going, I want a house. It's like, okay, why do you want a house? Why do you need insurance?
And especially, I mean, every client who comes to us, even for a mortgage, we do full analysis of their cash flow. Before house purchase, post house purchase. I want to make sure the client buys a house and lives happily. And I don't want anybody to buy a house and count money every night. So that is the concept which I'm building, so that people will be happy of what they're doing. And then they will be comfortable to come to us for their next needs as well.
Now, I want to talk about how you've transitioned the name of the business away from Sam Kodi to Smart Advisor, because you've built up this great brand. People know who you are. They're like, I want to deal with Sam Kodi. Where was the decision making? Like, what happened? How did you decide to change the name and branding?
There's so much you can do as Sam Kodi, right? So I mean, you have 40 hours, although I work about 80 hours. It's ridiculous number of hours which I work, but that's the way you build a business, right? So if you want to work 40 hours, you go and do a job. So, but I have been working last 6 years, probably lot more hours going into the business so that I can build a business. But I have realized that there's so much you can do as just Sam Kodi. That's why I first started building this backup system where I have specialists and where I have customer relations team. So those teams are settled now. So what now happened is that now I am in a position to scale my business, right? So establishing and then scaling. So when you start scaling, what can Sam Kodi do? There's so much of people who wanting more of Sam Kodis. So it's my duty to build some Sam Kodis behind me. So that is the reason we transitioned from Sam Kodi to Smart Advisor, so that we can employ more people. So we are in the hunt of some good advisors who can work with us for long term.
And you've established that business now. Did you get to a point where you're like, I feel comfortable, now's the right time? Or was it a little bit of jumping into the unknown when you kind of made that next move?
It is jumping into the unknown. I'm still sometimes uncomfortable to let things go, but I have realized over a period of time, at this point of time, that I need to do that. And that is the reason I employed this strategist as well. So I don't take most of the decisions now. I do what I know very well, which is advising clients. So I just advise clients. She takes control of all the structures, recruiting people. Everything is done by her.
Okay, so the strategist that you met, how did that relationship start?
That's the strategist which I told you that I contracted 6 years ago.
Yeah.
So she did the first 5 years. And then when we started doing the first 5 years, she went to my clients at that point and interviewed, and we found the pain points and we built the business according to that. So after 5 years, we reflected the 5 years to see whether we did everything right. So we probably did about 80% right.
Okay.
So which is good. And the business came to the level which we planned. So which is good. And then then we decided, okay, let's do the next 5 years. So the next 5 years is the phase of Smart Advisor now.
And what advice would you have for people who were like you a few years ago, trying to do everything within the business? How did you find that strategist? Did you just Google it? Did you meet it through a networking event? How could you introduce people to the right strategist?
See, basically, I'm a person who's very inquisitive, right? And also, I want to try out new things when I see. And probably I'm with Can today is also for the same reason, right? Long time ago, I wanted to try things out, and we met each other so that we are with you guys. So same way, I met this person through. I think there was a there was a digital marketing company which I used before, and she was working for them. And I realized her power of dealing with things, and she left that company, but she comes from a HR and a legal background and also teaching background. So I thought that's ideal for us, because when you're looking at a customer centric business and you want to look after clients, these things matters a lot.
Teaching, so important.
Teaching, legal, HR. So what can I ask more? So she was the ideal choice, and I went and told, why not you join? Because at the end of the day, if you look at the economic factors of contracting versus employment as well, I have lot of value in her. So it's about the putting the right structure, and she was ideal for me, and also the few people whom around in the business at the moment who are specialists in their own fields. Because my specialty is only one thing, but to run a business or a practice, there are so many specialist areas which you need to look at: marketing, collateral, HR, finance. So I have a team of people who are specialists in each area who looks after things for me. So which is good.
You got to get to that point. I know there's so many advisors, they're running a single advisor business. They might have like one support staff member. It must be so full on.
Yeah, and I did the same thing. But the thing is, I mean, I'm a bit crazy. I work about three people's work at the same
80
time.
hours a week.
Yes, and also when you do a full plan, you do insurance, mortgages, KiwiSaver, retirement planning, investment planning, everything. So one client is so much of things to do. So unless you have a team of people, it's not scalable at all. You will not have a life at all if you do it yourself. So that's the reason I always build this team, and I had that vision because I want to have. I, I'm a family man. I want to look after the family as well. So you need to have people, trusted people, working for you, giving you enough support.
And how did you, so you started at the bank, were you doing insurance or, investments there, or did you start doing that part of advice when you started your own advice business?
So when I was overseas, I was part of Deutsche Private Banking, based reporting to Singapore, based in Sri Lanka. So that is private banking international is totally different. You don't talk about products. You just build relationships. You move around with clients or various things. But when I came to New Zealand, I was concentrating on investments only. So I was an AFA before. Westpac and ASB, I was really private banking investment advisor. So I was looking after surplus money for clients, long-term planning. And then when I left ASB, I I went for another company and then started looking at investments. And then that company was doing mortgages and insurances as well. And I was thinking, why not? Because it's the same advice. Because when you look after the client, when you know the client, it's about giving a solution rather than a product. So why not look into those things? So then I got qualified in those areas as well, and then started doing everything one house.
Yeah. When you're looking at the bigger picture at the end, it becomes less about the products and more about just, facilitating their goals.
Absolutely, because what I have realized over the years working in New Zealand, coming from private banking background, is that if you look at a mom and dad, that couple has about 7 to 8 advisors behind them. I'm not telling anything wrong here, but those advisors do the job right. But my challenge for that mom and dad is, when is the last time all these 8 people sat on a room and talk about your long-term plans or your retirement? They do their job, but it's not integrated. But when you integrate things, there's a lot you can do. They save a lot of money.
And how was that first year for you when you started the business out? What were some of the main lessons that you learned?
Oh my God, so many. I mean, to be honest, for me, starting from scratch without clients, uh, you can imagine where it is, right? So it probably took about 3 years for me to put my head up. It was hard to start thing. And also I probably wasted a lot of money on the way as well, because I'm very impatient. When I see something for the client, or when I see a need for the client, I jump and do it because I just want to look after the client rather than anything else. So I burn a lot of money doing various things, moving on to CRMs, uh, doing various marketing activities, Facebook marketing, LinkedIn marketing. People made a lot of money out of me over the years. So starting a business without knowing the exact things behind it is pretty hard. But I learned the hard way. Now, I mean, there are few people of my clients who want to start business. I can give some personal experiences so that they can mitigate all this cost and go in a correct path, which is brilliant.
How do you focus on the right stuff? Because you're right, there's a lot of things floating around. Like, oh, I should try this, but LinkedIn advertising costs a lot of money. I need to trial a new CRM system. All these extra things, they all start to add up. How did you just eventually cut through the fat? Was it time, or was it just talking to other people?
I was self-centered, to be honest. So that was my mistake, right? So I was doing everything which I think which is right, and I was never asking anybody, and I burned a lot of money and time on that. So then I have few people now whom I keep them to say no. So so those people have told me you can't do anything until you ask us. So like a team of like a board sort of thing. It's not an official board as such, but I selected these people just to say no when I tell something. So first answer when I give an idea, no. So that is what the answer is.
Okay.
So I step back, and then I tell them, okay, if it is no, prove me it's a no. So then I don't make the decision; they make the decision collectively. So that stopped a lot of things which I was wasting. So first thing is no. So anything I tell is no.
Yeah. Sit down to dinner. I'm going to order the steak. No. Why not?
Because it gives me a shock, and I wanted that. That gave me a lot of control.
You need it as a solo business.
Absolutely.
owner.
That would be my advice for any solo business, because you just don't know what the outcome is because you are so emotional, and any solo business is all about vision, right? So if somebody has want to build a business, it's about vision. There's so many unplanned obstacles which is coming through their journey. So if you have a vision, you just go there, right? So when you're going on the vision, and if you have that right frame of mind, you only see the good things. You don't see the bad things here. That's what happened to me. But that bad things can drag you a lot. But if you can mitigate certain things in that bad things, you are going faster. So this second 5 years for me is all about no with these people is to mitigate and probably control me.
Because sometimes you can get that bias, when you feel emotional about something, you're like, I really want to do this. Sometimes just thinking about, there might be a little part that you're a bit unsure about, and you're like, don't worry about it for later. And then sure enough, 6 months down the line, you're like, I wish I hadn't done that. But
Yeah, I mean sometimes it can really hamper your long-term plans also, because you just take emotional decisions and quick decisions, which is not in your long-term at all. So I did that in that 5-year plan, and when this person's strategist came and checked, these were not in the plan. Why did you do this? And now I see I shouldn't have done that.
yeah, like higher level thinking and bigger picture analysis can be so crucial.
Very crucial. It's so emotional roller coaster actually.
Yeah, I mean, it's your business. You've built it up from the ground up. Like, how can you not be emotional about it?
And also you feel that okay, I'm the boss, so I can do anything. But I mean, you don't have expertise on all the areas in your. I mean, you don't have a control, so you need to have some specialists.
Yeah, I know. Even with our business as well, like we've now at that point where you can have specialists in certain roles, but not that I'm a specialist in anything, but helping out, just doing little things like helping out with the invoicing. It means that passing that off means I can do my job more effectively. Where do you see the next step going? Like, are there any parts you'd like to maybe outsource, or do you feel like you're already running at a pretty in a well-oiled machine at the moment?
No, even now we have a lot of areas which have outsourced, like marketing. Uh, Marketing. There are a few things which we have outsourced already, so it works well. But I mean, it doesn't mean that. I mean, what we practice is that we constantly review everything, so that gives us a feedback of whether the outsourcing what we do is working. Uh, Yeah, so basically, I mean, since I have a team of 9 at the moment, there's nothing much to be outsourced. It's about leveraging now and getting new advisors and helping them out to do whatever they want under the under our FAP
Okay.
guidelines or what we want to do in future.
And how do you mentor those new advisors or the advisors in your business? I find that part really hard when you just need to, you can be really effective helping the company one way, but then on the other hand, long term, it's going to be better if you train up people who are within your team. How do you balance that time?
No, we have built a lot of processes. We I mean, there are few people in the business who are given the responsibility are very process oriented. So we have manuals, we have process videos and everything which is created for the advisors to make use of it and do some self learning. And also, I have few people like very senior advisors who have left the industry for various reasons recently, who are behind me, who were mentoring for me also, giving some time for the new advisors to. I met someone yesterday actually, and that guy asked me, okay, what do you expect me to do? I said, I don't want you to talk about any products for my advisors. I just want you to take them out for a coffee and have a chat about life of an advisor. What went right, what went wrong, what gives simple tips once in fortnightly sort of thing. So those kind of extra little things which I want to start building into the network, and it's working well. And also some of the stuff which I mentioned before, coming from HR, teaching background, so which can be handy for the new advisors.
And those experienced advisors who have exited the industry, how did you build the relationship to get them to come into your business?
They were my colleagues at one stage, and they know how much work ethic I have with when I do things. So they like the way I work, although they are not geared to work in that pace. So they always balance me, and they gave me some ideas, experiences as well. So it's a mutual understanding that when I requested them, okay, can you do this? They will do it.
I think that's the one part that the industry needs to improve on. It's just sharing that collective knowledge between experience and new. So many advisors have a lot to share, and in this podcast, it's sort of what we're trying to achieve. Are there any big lessons that maybe one of those advisors have taught you, or you'd like to teach some new advisors?
No, actually, what I realized is a lot of people in this mentoring process is about probably having a manual or having a lecture sort of thing. For me, learning the product is easy. And even the product providers, even look at insurance companies, they have these exams and this and that. So advisors will learn the product. But it's the area which they are lacking or getting into trouble is the practice, day-to-day practice. So that is why I chose these people to come and talk to them about life of an advisor. Uh, how do you mitigate things? I mean, next week we might talk about income protection. So with regard to income protection, how do you talk to clients on income protection? What are the things which you need to look after? ACC, those kind of things. It's not about product. It's about the practical side of it. What can happen? What can you mitigate? These are the claims which happened in my time, sort of thing. So just having that casual discussions can help advisors quite a lot.
Having those stories, that always resonates so well when you're chatting with a
And
client.
also that comes from a very senior advisor, so they respect that and they learn it. And the few people whom I have found are very casual and also very friendly people, so which will work well.
Yeah, good for the team. Because if you can say to a client, the reason why you need income protection is because, I've had a client before who XYZ happened, they got the payout. It's so much more compelling than just saying you need this because of X reason.
And I mean, we advisors, we try to do all these things to the clients, but uh, it is also important to do that into your team of people, including the back office people who are processing, because they need to understand what they're doing. So my business, we are trying to um, get every staff member to understand what they are doing. They are not following instructions. I don't want them to be following a booklet or a script or anything like that. They need to know what they're doing. If they're making a call to the client, they need to know why they're making that call. and what impact that has to the business and to the client. So it's about understanding your job properly.
Yeah, understand the industry, and it's so true. Picking up the phone, what is the end outcome of this conversation going to be?
Yeah,
How are we going to get there?
absolutely. Then they will work with passion rather than just doing a job.
And do you hire previous people with previous industry experience, or are they new to industry with the right attitude?
uh, for the new advisors.
Yeah.
It's a mix of people, and I mean, as long as they fall into our culture, that's all what we are looking for. And I don't want people to come and go. I want people to build the business with us and work long term, and work as a family, because I run a business where doors are open. There's no closed doors. We just have fun. So
Great. And just linking back to a podcast we recorded a while ago with Rupert Goff from the Mortgage Lab, and he said that 7 was the kind of magic number when the staff start asking each other questions rather than just coming to you for everything. Do you find now that your team's 9 people, do you find that they're starting to cross-pollinate ideas internally rather than coming directly to you?
absolutely, I think that was a good comment which he made. Actually, I was listening to that. No, I feel that, and sometimes you feel now people are not coming to you, but that's the way it is. But that's how you build a team, isn't it? And I'm not a good manager anyway of people management. That's why I employed people to manage people who are good in what they are doing. I'm a good advisor, which I know, and I'm good for clients. I'm not good for managing people. So, but I'm out. So I'm out of. I own the business. That's a different thing, but in a different capacity. So I don't want in my practice. I don't want to be the person who's dictating things, so that people can be very free and getting things sorted out themselves, and each one has their own strengths. And if they want my strengths to come in, they will come and ask me.
And they're going to learn better that way as well.
And also, I'm running a small business. I need to keep the business going as well. So if I stop, that will be an impact to the business. So I will keep doing what I'm doing, and I'm pretty good with my clients, and I just want to do that because I have a lot of time for my clients.
Yeah, I guess like the way you structure your advice process, like you need to have that. So how the team's grown to 9 now. How have you kept that culture, I guess, consistent throughout, so that everybody buys into that ethos, that they're all part of the Smart Advisor brand? Are there any tips or group activities?
To be honest, we are still new to that because with the transition happened only a month. So we are just testing the waters at the moment. But I don't think there is a major impact in what we do because just because the brand changed, the way we are working and the work which is involved is the same. So probably I don't think there's major problem or change there because we are very friendly. We want to have fun, but work ethics should be very high because I work hard. So
Yeah. Lead from the front.
yeah, so obviously I'm leading from the front. They just need to follow and support me and do their own thing. So I don't think there will be an issue in transitioning. There's nothing to be transitioned. Probably people come and learn the culture and then fit into it.
And I know you said before you've been building out 5-year plans. The industry has changed a lot in the last 5 years. For your next 5 years, do you have an idea of where you think the industry will be going?
It's changing rapidly, isn't it?
Too quickly.
It's too much of work for the advisors to do a lot of paperwork. It's not about the client work. It's as a company. There's so many things that you need to do, and it takes so much of time away. The way I think is, it's a challenge, but when you have a team of people again, you can delegate things and give responsibilities for each people, and also, honestly, like compliance and stuff like that, which we use you guys to do the compliance. So those kind of outsourcing is important going forward. Again, you have a limited time to do all what you do. So outsourcing is important. If you adapt to those like resources which you have around you, I don't see there's major challenges in that. But of course, advisors need to be aware of what they have to do and just follow the guidelines.
Yeah, so I guess like your advice would be outsource where you're not a specialist and just stick to what you know and just really
Absolutely,
lean
that's
into
what
it.
I do. And within even the team, I outsource internally. So I'm not a specialist on that. You just look after this sort of thing. And if team doesn't have that capability of doing it, we will outsource to you guys. We will outsource to our advertising agents. So outsourcing is required. And at the end of the day, if otherwise you are just putting a little bit of plasters to the wound, right? You are not looking at the whole picture and looking at the end game. So if you want to look at the end game, you need to outsource to the professionals and trust them to do their job. Of course, you monitor them, but trust the people whom around you.
I think it's very much a Kiwi cultural thing where everybody tries to do everything DIY. It can be hard to let go.
Absolutely. It's not only Kiwi. I'm a Sri Lankan, but I have that thing as well. I have to do everything. I need to put in my 2 cents to everything. So that's why I have that team who was challenging me. They keep telling me, "No, you go away. You don't need to get involved."
Marketing.
Yeah. Or what are you doing here? They don't even let me come to a meeting. But I have a process where I get the feedback. I know exactly what is happening in the business, but I just go and see. But they just chase me away. You're not supposed to be here. So I value that.
I think a lot of people listening to this will be going, far out, I've been doing too much. Just start outsourcing.
Yeah, no, I think it is important to do that. But I mean, at the end of the day, you need to look at the capacity and do it as well. But one thing I realized is that doing that, I have a lot more time for more new business, a lot more time to even go and ask for a referral or do reviews, because reviews is a big thing for us. We sit with all the clients at least once a year. That's part of the relationship management team's job. They have to book X amount of review meetings in my diary. So that is a discipline which we have created a long time ago.
It's so valuable.
Yeah, no, minimum 3 review meetings should be in my diary every week. So that is how it works.
And how do you do the review meetings? Are they digital? Do they come into your office? You meet them for coffee?
We have segregated the clients. It
database.
depends on clients' requirements as well. Some people like to do it online, so we do it online. Some people like to get a email update, or there's a lot of people I personally meet. There are certain clients which we do a lot of work and needs a lot of handheld guidance. I sometimes meet every 6 months.
Great. Oh, I mean, it's exactly what, the 6-step advice process. Number 6 is review. And there's so many advisors that, because they're so busy doing everything else, like that does sometimes fall to the wayside. But, the new legislation says you've got to be reviewing. So,
And the amount of leads which are getting through reviews is amazing. I mean, I'm not hesitant to ask leads. Every meeting I meet a client, every time I meet a client, I ask for a name. I keep challenging myself, because if I deliver, give me a name. So they give.
and I think if you've done the right thing by people, they want to support you and want to help you grow.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about, if you passionately help a family, why not that family also help another family? So that's the concept which I am building. So it works very well.
I love it, Sam. Sam, it's been so good chatting with you today. I think a lot of people get value from hearing about that outsourcing, especially even reviews. Just then, bringing new business in, just not being afraid to ask the question. So thanks so much for joining us today. It was great to chat.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for listening.
All right. Thank you.
Cheers, man.